For over 50 years, no human had traveled this far. The moon remained distant, unchanged, almost forgotten. After the final missions of the Apollo program, deep space slowly faded from human experience. We stayed close to Earth, orbiting, observing, but never truly leaving. And for decades, that became normal. Until now, with Artemis II, humans have finally stepped back into deep space, traveling farther than any crew in generations, not just looking at the moon, but moving around it again, seeing it from angles we haven't witnessed in decades. But this time, something feels different. Because when you leave Earth behind, you don't just change location, you change perspective. The silence becomes deeper than expected, the darkness more complete than anything on Earth. And the moon, a place we thought we understood, begins to feel unfamiliar again. And that's where the unease begins. Because this mission wasn't just about returning, it was about seeing something again. After a very long time, and sometimes, when you return to something after decades, you don't see what you expect. You notice what you missed. For most of human history, the moon has been constant, a fixed presence in the night sky, predictable, familiar. But after the Apollo era ended, that connection changed. Humans stopped traveling beyond low Earth orbit. Space exploration became closer, safer, more controlled. The International Space Station became our limit, and deep space was left behind. For decades. But with NASA's Artemis program, that boundary is being pushed again. Artemis II isn't just another mission. It's the first time in generations that humans have traveled this far from Earth. 4 astronauts inside a spacecraft designed for deep space, leaving behind the safety of near-Earth orbit. Moving into a region where communication delays increase, where Earth becomes smaller, and where isolation becomes real. And for the first time in decades, the moon wasn't just observed through telescopes or robotic missions. It was experienced again, seen with human eyes, in motion, from constantly changing angles. But here's where it shifts. Because returning to a place after so long doesn't mean it feels the same. Expectations don't always match reality. And as the mission progressed, small details started to stand out. Nothing dramatic, nothing confirmed as unusual, but enough to raise questions. Because sometimes it's not the obvious things that matter. It's the subtle differences, the ones you don't expect to notice until you're there again. There is a side of the moon no human has ever seen directly from Earth. The far side, always turned away, always hidden. Not because it doesn't rotate, but because it rotates in perfect sync with Earth, which means one side faces us forever, and the other remains permanently out of view. And this is where things begin to change. Because when a spacecraft moves behind the moon, something immediate happens. Communication disappears. No direct signal. No real-time contact with Earth. Just delay. And then silence. And during Artemis II, this moment wasn't theoretical. It was real. As the spacecraft passed over the far side, Earth vanished from view. Completely. No blue glow. No reference point. Just darkness. And the surface of the moon below. And that surface is different. Not smooth. Not familiar. But heavily cratered. More chaotic than the side we usually see. Ancient impacts frozen in place. Massive basins stretching across the landscape. And shadows, deeper than anything we experience on Earth. Because without an atmosphere, light doesn't scatter. It hits, and it stops. Creating areas of pure brightness, right next to absolute darkness. And this is where perception begins to shift. Because when you look down at this terrain, depth becomes harder to judge. Distances feel distorted. Features seem closer or farther than they actually are in some formations. Patterns created by overlapping craters and shadows don't resolve clearly at first glance. Not strange enough to be impossible, but not simple enough to immediately understand. And that creates a gap between what you see and what your brain expects to see. And in an environment like this, that gap matters, because when nothing feels familiar, even normal things start to feel unusual. Astronauts who have traveled beyond Earth orbit often describe something difficult to explain. It's not just what they see, it's how it feels, and that feeling becomes stronger the farther you move from Earth. Because deep space changes your perception. On Earth, everything is filtered. Light is softened by the atmosphere. Sounds fill the environment. Distances are familiar. But in space, all of that disappears around the moon. There is no atmosphere, no diffusion of light, no background noise, just raw conditions. Sunlight becomes harsh, unfiltered, extremely bright, while shadows become completely black, not dark, but empty of visible detail. And this creates a strange visual effect. Edges look sharper than expected. Surfaces appear flatter or deeper than they really are. And movement, even small movement, feels exaggerated in the silence. But it's not just visual, it's psychological. Because when you're on the far side of the moon, you are completely cut off from Earth. No direct communication, no immediate connection, just you and space. And during those moments, even normal observations can feel unfamiliar. A reflection, a shadow, a shift in light across the surface. Nothing clearly wrong, nothing unexplainable, but not entirely comfortable either. And that's the part astronauts struggle to describe. Because the environment itself changes how you interpret what you're seeing, and when your perception changes, certainty becomes harder to hold on to. You're still observing reality, but it doesn't always feel like it. The moon is no longer just a destination. It's no longer something we visit briefly or observe from afar. With missions like Artemis II, humanity is preparing for something much bigger. Long-term presence, permanent bases, even mining operations in the future. Every step we take toward the moon now matters more. Because unlike short missions, long-term presence exposes us to the environment continuously. The silence, the isolation, the unfamiliar terrain, the extreme shadows, the way light and darkness behave. All of it becomes part of daily reality. And here's the critical part. Small anomalies that might have been ignored before, sudden shifts in light, strange reflections, unexpected terrain patterns, now gain significance. Every observation becomes important. Every detail could matter for safety. And the far side of the moon, the side we've barely explored, is completely uncharted in human experience. We have no prior records of what it truly feels like to stay there. No long-term studies of perception in that environment. Every step forward reveals not just the moon itself, but the limits of what we understand about human experience in space. And with Artemis II, those limits were pushed. Because seeing the moon is one thing, but feeling it, being in it, experiencing it from orbit, from isolation, that changes everything. Artemis II brought humanity closer to the moon. And in doing so, it revealed how much we still don't understand. Because space isn't just a void, it's unfamiliar, unforgiving, and it changes how we see everything. The moon, familiar, distant, constant, suddenly feels strange. Shadows behave differently. Reflections surprise. And places we thought we knew become unknown. The mission didn't uncover a single anomaly, no mystery revealed fully. But it exposed something perhaps more important. Uncertainty. The unknown. That subtle feeling that reality itself is different when you leave Earth. And as humans prepare to return, not just to visit, but to stay, those questions don't disappear, they only grow closer. Every observation matters. Every subtle shift in the environment could signal something new. So the next time you look at the moon, remember this: we're not returning to something fully understood. We're stepping into an environment that is strange, silent, and full of questions we aren't yet ready to answer. And out there, beyond the moon, beyond Artemis II, one question looms larger than ever. What else is waiting? Just out of reach. Beyond what we can explain?